Welcome to Yogaroo Online, to week number 3 in Move and Restore. So last week we looked for kind of standing balances, and we worked really strongly into the legs, and we worked on pressing down into our feet to find the strength of our legs. This week we're going to see how that feels in motion. So we're going to bring the same principles that we used in last week into our practice this week, and seeing, can we tap into those same strong muscles as we move the body, which is an even bigger challenge than actually finding the strength of your legs as you're just standing in a pose. So again, lots of wobbles are completely normal, and don't berate yourself for finding this tricky. There will be parts of it that I'll give you options for if the step back is too much for you. So just go at your level and don't get frustrated with yourself or with me as you are trying to build these strong muscles, stabilizing muscles in the legs and the hips. So we're working, obviously the hips are going to be included if you're working strongly with the legs. Okay, so let's get started in cat-cow position. So actually you're going to start in child's pose. So I'll just explain to you for 1 minute before you press back into child's pose. We did this a couple of weeks ago, Mary, you'll remember it. It's where I bring you through just a short child's pose flow, and I call out the muscle that we're working with. So this time I want you to really use your connection with the ground, so which will be the front of your shins, the tops of your feet and your hands, and then link that pressing with the muscle that I call out. So it'll be glutes, so the back of your hips there, core, the front, and lumbar, or I'll just call lumbar, but that's the back of your spine there, your lower spine, as we come into the 3 different poses. And I want you to really press and see, can you link that muscle with your pressing, and get the relationship between, the more you ground down, the better activity you get in those muscles there. So let's give it a go. So starting in child's pose, have your feet just in line with your knees there. And then just bring the head down towards the ground. Have your arms nice and stretched forward now. So this is your exhale. We're going to inhale. So press those shins, press the tops of your feet, press your hands down into the ground like you've got little suction pads to the tops of your fingers. Squeeze into the back of the glutes now. Squeeze, 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 press and squeeze, press and squeeze. In fact, feel the glutes there and the tops of your quads as you stabilize to come forward. And then this was your exhale coming next. So exhale, lift the spine up towards the ceiling, core here. So feel your core cinch in around your waist there as you press to lift the spine up. Inhaling into your cat or your cow pose, the belly softens down towards the ground. So the opposite action is happening. You're feeling the spinal muscles drawing your spine together there, your discs together there. And then exhale, pressing back to child's pose again. So you can almost bring your spine back a little bit more to neutral so that you can feel the strength of your glutes. Press into your hands, press into your shins, tops of your feet. Squeeze the back of the glutes to come to your child's pose again. Okay, a little bit less explanation and more just flowing and feeling the press, and I will call out the muscle. Okay, so pressing down, just remembering the more you press, the more it can give you the feedback to work into those muscles. So press into hands, shins, tops of the feet. Inhale, glutes up to all fours. Glutes squeezing really strongly there, coming up as slow as you can. And when you feel you want to move faster, slow it down. Exhale, bring your spine up towards the ceiling. Core working here, cinching the waist in. And the glutes, back of the glutes too. Inhale, lumbar spine. Feel the spine drawing together, the whole back lifting up, the spine goes towards the ground, the shoulders and the back of the hips up towards the ceiling. And then exhale back to your child's pose again. Glutes are your brakes. Think of your brakes being your glutes there. Now we'll do 1 more of them just to bring you into your body here for your practice. Inhale, glutes up to all fours. Press into the ground. Don't forget to press. Squeeze into the back of the glutes. Exhale, lift the spine up towards the ceiling. Feel the core working there, cinching the waist in. Inhale, drawing the belly down towards the ground, feeling the back of the spine drawing together there, feeling the strength of the whole spine all the way up to the tip of the crown. And then exhale, presses you back. Feel the glutes as your brakes as you slowly come back to child's pose again. Okay, and then inhale up to all fours again. And we'll take it into a little bit of balancing here now. So we're going to reach our left arm forward, move back a little bit, and our right leg back. So bringing it into a diagonal stretch there. So again, feeling that really strong connection to the ground here in your hand, your shin, the top of your foot there. This is your exhale. Inhale, you're going to bring your left arm into cactus, and you're going to bring your right leg out to the side. So I'll just show you what I'm doing there. The right leg's coming out to the side in kind of a fire hydrant fashion. So inhale to reach, and we're going to take a few rounds of them. Exhale to bring the leg out to the side and the arm out to the side. So feel the more you press into the ground, the more stabilizing, drawing your waist in as well. The core is great for keeping us balanced as well. Inhale to reach, and exhale, bending the elbow, bending the knee. We'll do one more round. Inhale to reach, and exhaling to bend. Lengthen it out one more time before we come down. Inhale, and then exhale, bringing the hands down, coming back to tabletop position. So just remembering here, Rach, you were talking about wanting to do a little bit of hip work, just that trying to keep those hips level there. So rather than the whole hip swinging out to the side, the more that you just keep those hips level to the ground and just have that leg coming out to the side. A flexed foot here is good as well. It seems to connect with the back of the hips there to turn them on. So just, you know, again, having no attachment to how far that leg comes out to the side, that's when we swing the hips up, because we feel it should be in line with our waist there. But it's just as much as it can come up, and really squeezing into the back of the glutes there, starting to fire the leg muscles at the top of the legs there. Okay, right side. So right arm reaching forward, left leg reaching back on your exhale. Inhale, bending the knee, bending the arm, remembering only letting that leg come out as high as the hip stays stable. Inhale to reach, and exhale to bend. Pressing into the hand, pressing into the shin and the top of the foot. Inhale to reach, and exhale to bend. Inhale, reach, and exhale, bringing the hand down and the knee down. Just taking a few circles with the hips there, going one direction, going the other direction. Tuck the toes under. Actually, no, don't tuck the toes. We're just going to step forward. We won't come to it from downward dog. So step left leg forward, come up to the fingertips, lift the right knee, step right leg forward, folding down on your exhale. Inhale, press into your feet, reach the arms up high, and exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Okay, so now just we're up on to standing. So we're going to build on that now and add some of the principles, or add to this the legs, the principles we've been building with the pressing into the ground, pressing into the tops of the shins and the feet. So now those same things that we're going to do with the feet here, and we're going to see the way that using the strength of the legs is what helps us in our transitions. The minute the legs kind of lose their strength, it just becomes more about momentum, and the slowness of how we transition today is where we're really building those stabilizing muscles in the hips and the legs, because we can quite happily just do this kind of emotion, and great, that's exercising you, but where you're moving more towards kind of a cardiovascular way of moving. In our yoga, we want to move really slowly. That's so almost that the challenge is how slow can you move here, and really connecting with the muscles. Like the slower you move, the more you have a conversation with those muscles. I can feel my knee really working out my balance here as my toe just gently touches the ground. So let's try that. Now, we're going to just do this connection before we come through our standing flows. I'm going to give you two options. The first one is going to be where we come up to this, and then we bring the right leg back and the right knee hovers off the ground. Okay, so that's your first option. Remembering as well always to make sure that your feet, as you step back, you are coming to you know, like your feet are on tracks here. The minute you start to come too narrow with your feet, you'll start to really challenge your balance, which is a different class altogether in terms of challenges anyway. So that's your first option. Your second option is to bring the leg up and just bend that left knee and tap the foot back there. So if you're finding stepping all the way back and bringing the knee down or towards the ground a little bit too challenging on your balance today, just do this version where you bring the knee up, bend that left knee and just tap the foot down again, still working hugely with stabilizing the hips, the knees, the ankles. Okay, so we'll do a few on the right side and a few on the left side. So lift all your toes of your left foot there, place them down on the ground. So I always do this when I'm working with standing balancing poses. It's like you're kind of a little mini cheat. You're trying to make your foot really as wide as possible, because the wider the surface you press into is, the more balance you feel. So you're trying to get your foot nice and wide, and then you press into it to make sure that you re-engage those arches in your foot there. You have 3 arches, but the main one being the one that we're most familiar with is that inner arch there. And feel the arch, the strength of the arch, kind of drawing up your inner ankle there. Press into that left foot there now and see the feedback you feel around, just kind of like traveling up your leg there, up towards your hip and your glute there. Okay, so that's the left leg sorted, drawing up nice and tall through the spine. Inhale, lift that right leg, flex the foot there now. And then on your exhale, you're just going to bring that leg back, tap it down to the ground and hover the knee off the ground. Okay, so that's our movement. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, bending the left knee and really slowly working out your center of gravity to gently bring that right foot back. Inhale to lift. And see the way I came up too fast there on my inhale. So let's see, can we slow that down as well? And then exhale to gently bring it back. It's like you're trying to creep into a room with a sleeping baby. You're trying to not make any noises. So inhale to lift. And then exhale to slowly bring it down. We'll do it one more time and we'll see, can we do it with the breath? So let's do just the count of 4. And this might or might not work, a bit of an experiment, but we'll see, can we lift up? We do need a little bit of forward momentum to get that leg lift. We see, can you really slow it down though? So 4, breathing for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1, lift the leg, flex the foot, and exhaling for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Not bad. Let's try a 6. Okay, inhaling for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, 2, 1, lift the leg, flex the foot, exhaling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and the foot comes down and knee comes down. I forgot about my knee drops there. Okay, so step that right leg forward and feel the strength in that left leg. I can certainly feel my left ankle fatiguing there while it's really working out how to use those stabilizing muscles. Let's do the same thing on the right side now. So lift all 5 toes of your right foot there, place them down, spread your foot nice and wide. Now press into the big toe mound, the little toe mound, the center of the back of the heel to re-engage that inner arch of the right foot there. Feel that muscle activity traveling up your leg there. Squeeze into the back of that hip there as well. So we're going to inhale, so press all your weight into your right foot, lift up tall through the spine, lift that left leg up, flex the foot. This is your inhale. Exhale, start to bend that right knee, really slowly bringing that left leg back. Left leg drops down or gently brings down, and the left knee just comes down towards the ground but doesn't touch it. And inhale to come back up again. Starting to get used to this side now. We'll just do a few rounds a bit fluidly and then we'll do it with the breath. Exhale, bending that right knee. Seeing, can you keep up nice and tall through the spine as well? So just, you know, sometimes when we're really concentrating, we're inclined to curl forward in the shoulders. So hands on hips, make sure you're broad through the shoulders. And then exhale, bringing that knee down. One more time, inhale. Lift that left leg up, flex the foot, squeeze. And exhale, stepping it back, bring that left knee down. Okay, for our next one, we'll do for the count of 4. So coming up for 4, 3, 2, 1, flex the foot, lift, and exhaling for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1, knee comes down or towards the ground. Then we'll do the count of 6. So challenging here, getting the momentum to come forward with a nice slow stability for 6, for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhaling for 6, for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the left knee down now, bring the right knee down. Oh, sorry, no, don't. Let's start from standing here. Our flow starts from a standing position. Okay, so that definitely will have started to get you to travel inwards and feel the strength of the legs, and really noticed how slow moving is so much harder than fast moving when it comes to our practice, and how much more we tap into those stabilizing muscles. Okay, so our first flow, we're going to do 3 small flows, and then we're going to combine all 3 of them together for a longer flow. So each one just has one kind of main movement to it. So I'll talk you through the first one as usual, and then we'll move through it with the breath a few times. So you're going to inhale, reach the arms up high, and exhale, you're going to press your hands together, bring yourself down into chair pose, so letting those hips come low here. We're going to step the left leg back at a 45-degree angle, left hand onto the left hip, reaching the right arm up and over. So you've stepped straight back into your warrior 2 there. Then we're going to pivot around to the front of our mat, hands in prayer position, and lift that left leg forward. So you can kind of, step a mini step and then bring it forward all the way if a complete step is a little bit too much for you. So take it in 2 bits if you need to, and coming back to chair pose. And then inhale to come back up again. So the exhale was in the chair pose. So that's the flow. Let's see, can we do it a little bit more fluidly with the breath now? So basically we're just coming into chair, we're stepping back into reverse, and we're coming back to chair and coming back to standing again. We're going to see, can we really link in with our legs here and flow with the strength of our legs and our breath. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, coming into chair pose. Bending the knees, exhale, exhale, exhale. Inhale, all the weight into that right foot. Gently and slowly step that left leg back, left hand to left hip or leg, right arm up and over. So coming into a reverse. And then we pivot back to the front of our mat, lift that left heel up, just so you have something to spring off. Step that left leg forward, down to chair pose for your exhale. Inhale, reach the arms up high again, hands down, prayer position. Let's do that 2 more times. I'm just going to call the breath and the pose. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, bending the knees to chair. Inhale, step the left leg back, coming into reverse. Exhale, pivot around, step left leg forward to your chair pose. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Last time, inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, press the hands together, chair pose. Inhale, step that left leg back. Reach right arm up and over into our reverse. And exhale, step forward to chair pose. Inhale, reach the arms up high. And exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Okay, we're coming straight to the other side. You stay where you are. I'm just going to come to the back of my mat so I don't have my back to you. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale into our chair pose. Inhale, press, so pour your body over into that left foot. Right foot becomes light here, enough that you can step it back, ground the heel. Right hand on right thigh, left arm up and over into our warrior. Then pivot, see the way I've pivoted that right heel up again now to the front of my mat, hands in prayer position. Exhale, step that right leg forward, coming into your chair, hips low. Inhale, reach the arms up high again, press into your feet. And exhale, hands down the midline prayer position. Okay, 2 more, at least 2 more rounds. Inhale, maybe 3 more rounds. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, coming into our chair. Pour all the weight into the left foot, right leg comes light. Inhale, step right leg back into our reverse. Reach up and over. Exhale, pivot that foot around gently. See, can you do this one slowly? It's a tricky transition, stepping that right leg forward. It really needs a lot of stability in the hips. And inhale, reach the arms up high. Come straight into another round. Exhale, into our chair pose. Inhale, pivot. Reach the right arm up and our left arm up and over. Exhale, pivot left or right foot. Step right leg forward, chair pose. Inhale, press into the feet, reach the arms up high. Exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Okay, we'll move on to our next flow now. So you're getting the hang of it now. It's like, you know, a kind of linking pose and a pose and coming back to the linking pose. The next one, we're going to start in standing. We're going to do that step back and then we're going to come into goddess on the side. I'll go through it slowly for the first one and then we'll get moving. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, we're going to step that left leg back first into a low lunge. Bring the knee towards the ground, hands in prayer position to your heart. Inhale, so listen carefully for this one. You're just going to pivot both your feet to a 45-degree angle and swap the hips around to the side of your mat and take a goddess here. Exhale, pivot the feet around to the front of your mat again and bring that left knee down. Inhale, step forward, reach the arms up high. Exhale, hands down, the prayer position. Okay, so that one is a little bit more complicated. You're going to step back, then we bring the hips to the side, step forward, back, and then stand up. Okay, I'll go through it again. We're going to stay on the same side, so the left side is stepping back. Inhale, reach the arms up high again. Exhale, step that left foot back. The left knee comes down towards the ground. So if this is tricky for you, you don't have to come back that far. Just take a smaller stance and keep the hips up a little bit higher as we come around to our goddess pose. Okay, so exhale, stepping that left leg back. Inhale, pivot that. See that lovely action for the hip there. You're pivoting your whole left hip to open that hip into our goddess pose. And then exhale, you're pivoting that whole hip around in its joint again now to come down to a low lunge. And then inhale, steps that left foot forward, reach the arms up high. Exhale, we're going to straight back into our next round. Step that left foot back, low lunge. Inhale, pivot, open that hip up. Lovely feeling in the hip there into goddess. Exhale, pivot back again, low lunge. Inhale, step forward, reach the arms up high. Exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Okay, we'll move that around now to the other side. So I'm just going to go to the back of my mat there now. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, we're stepping the right leg back now. Right knee down towards the ground, but not touching. Inhale, now we do that nice pivot for the hip, the right hip now, and come into our goddess pose. Exhale, pivot the foot and the leg again, down to our low lunge. Knee doesn't touch, it hovers. And inhale, step that right leg forward, reach the arms up high. Okay, we'll go again. Exhale, brings the right leg back to our low lunge. Inhale, pivot the foot around to goddess. Exhale, pivot, front to the mat, low lunge. Inhale, step the right leg forward, reach the arms up high. We'll do 2 more of them. So taking it easy now, if you're beginning to fatigue in the legs, maybe take 1 round in my round of 2 and do it really slowly. Inhale here, exhale, step that right leg back. Right knee comes towards the ground. Inhale, pivot the right leg, goddess. Let the hips drop down. Exhale, pivot the right foot, left knee down towards, or right knee towards the ground. And inhale, step that right leg forward, reach the arms up high. Exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. We'll go again. Inhale, last time, reach the arms up high. Exhale, step right leg back, right knee comes down towards the ground. Inhale, pivot the feet, 45 degrees, let the hips come down into goddess, hands pressing, lift up the heart there. Exhale, pivot the foot around again, low lunge. Inhale, step that leg forward, reach the arms up high. Exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Okay, let's just take a few moments here in Tadasana just to find equal there and find your grounding again. So sometimes when you start to fatigue in the legs, you start to kind of lose your connection to the ground. So just come to Tadasana now, really press into those 3 points of your feet here and feel the whole legs fire up as you find your connection with the ground. So this is the essence of transitions, this action that you're feeling, but it's hard to maintain that when the upper body starts to move around the place. So even if you come into chair pose, so let's do that. Let's reach the arms up high, or in fact, let's just reach the arms forward. See the connection with your feet in the ground, loosening as you even start to gently move your upper body in chair pose. So just press your feet into the ground actively and notice how difficult it gets to keep that connection, even with something simple as chair pose. And then inhale to come back up again. So just, it's the key to moving stably, but it's a tricky one to keep. So just, don't expect yourself to always find, you have to keep reminding yourself to come back to that connection with the ground. Okay, our last flow now, and then we're going to bring the whole thing together. How are we doing for time? Pretty good. Now this one I might give you two options for. I'll just show you quickly and then I'll give you a second option because it's got a leg lift in it. So inhale, reach the arms up high again. And then exhale, we're just going to step that left leg back, reach the arms back. So the inhale is going to bring you into warrior 3. So this is where we're going with it. If warrior 3 is a little bit too tricky for you, I would just suggest that you bring that leg in and lift the leg up. Okay, so it's either going to look like this, inhale, and then exhale, and then inhale to lift, or else inhale to lift the entire leg up. And then we bring it down again into our arrowhead and step forward. Okay, so I'll explain it all again as we go through it. Left leg is going to be the action leg for the first round. Okay, for this one, we just start off in a high lunge, actually. So bring that left leg back so that your right leg is forward. Make sure your legs are nice and wide here on your mat. So even here now, find your connection to particularly that front foot there. Notice when you press down into that foot, your glute reacts. So your glute muscles there at the back of your hips, they wake up. The more you press, the more of a conversation is happening between the press, the grounding, and the glute there. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, keep a little bit of connection through that back foot in the ground as you reach your arms back and the chest comes forward. Open through the chest there now. That's your exhale. Now inhale, remembering you're either just going to step that leg forward or you're going to come up into warrior 3 and then exhale back to arrowhead. Inhale, reach the arms up high again. Okay, let's bring it into a little bit of flow now. We'll do 3 more rounds. So this is our inhale. Exhale into arrowhead. So reaching the arms back. Press, press, press strongly now into that right foot now. Feel that right glute firing up now. Inhale, either steps that leg forward a little bit or brings you into your warrior 3. And exhale brings you back to arrowhead. Inhale, reach the arms up high again. Okay, 2 more rounds. Exhale, reach the arms forward. Press into that front foot. Inhale, lift that left leg up. Reach. Exhale, back into your arrow. And inhale, reach the arms up high again. Okay. Exhale, reach the arms back. Inhale, lift that back leg. Exhale, back to arrow. Inhale, reach the arms up. Okay, 1 more round. Exhale, reach the arms back. Press into that front foot. Inhale, lift that left leg or just tap it. Exhale, arms come back. And inhale, reach the arms up high again. Okay, hands to hips, just step that left leg forward, maybe just shimmying from side to side there, maybe bringing in a little bit of movement, circling the hips, going left and right. I can certainly feel my strong right leg. Now I need to catch up and find my strong left leg. Okay, so this time we're going to start with that left leg back now in your high lunge, making sure that you're wide on your mat there now. Starting position, arms reaching up high. This is your inhale. Exhale, reach the arms back, press into that left foot now. Really find that connection, that conversation between the press and the activation of that glute muscle there. Then your inhale is going to lift or just step that right leg forward. reaching it back if you're in warrior. And then exhale into arrowhead again. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, reach the arms back, press into that foot. So this gives you just a breath to find your connection with that foot. Inhale, lifts that right leg up. And exhale brings you back. Inhale, reach the arms up high. We'll do 2 more. Exhale, reach the arms back. Press into that left foot. Inhale, lift right leg up. Exhale, back down. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Last round. Exhale, reach the arms back. Press into that foot. Squeeze that right hip there. Now squeeze it into the midline. As it starts to fatigue, it might hang out to the left-hand side there. Squeeze it in. Inhale, lift that right leg up. Exhale, bring the right leg down. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, hands down the midline prayer position and step that left leg forward. And then just, or that right leg forward. And then just circle the hips there, both directions. Take a moment in your Tadasana. Lift up all 10 toes, press them down into the ground. Feel those inner arches. We're going to combine the whole flow here now for our last few standing flows. We're doing good for time. So we're going to inhale, reach the arms up high. Come with me now. You know the poses, so we're going to do a few rounds of this. If you get a little bit confused, you'll catch us up on the next round and we'll get into a nice flow here. Exhale, press into the feet, coming into our chair pose. Inhale, it's all familiar to you now. We're coming into our reverse. Exhale, we're going to pivot around to the front of our mat. Bring that left knee down. Inhale into our goddess. See, I'm just combining our 3 flows here. Exhale, pivot to the front of your mat into arrow. Inhale, either step that left leg forward or lift the left leg up. And then exhale into our chair pose. Inhale, reach the arms up high. And exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. So that's the full flow, all of those little 6 movements wedged together in arms reaching, Utthita. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale into chair pose. Press into your feet. Plug those feet into the ground. Gently step that left leg back, come into your reverse for your inhale. Exhale, pivot the feet around. Low lunge, and either keeping that knee up or bringing it down to the ground, just depending how it feels for you. Inhale into your goddess, that lovely transition. It feels great in the hip. Just pivot that left hip out to the side. Inhale, forward, pivot the feet forward. Left heel lifts for arrowhead. Remembering this is your chance to press into that right foot. Get ready for your little bit of forward momentum, and lift that left leg up. And exhale comes into chair pose. Inhale, reaches the arm up high again. Let's go straight into our 3rd round. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, slowly. Remembering that speed is the essence, that the slower you go, the more connection you have with those strong muscles. Inhale, exhale then into your low lunge. Inhale to your goddess, let the hips drop down. Exhale into your arrowhead, press into that front foot. Inhale, lift that left leg. And then exhale into your chair pose. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Okay, we'll do the same thing, second side now, 3 rounds. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale into chair. Inhale, right leg comes back. Left arm reaching up and over for your inhale. Exhale, pivot the feet around to your low lunge. Option to bring the knee down to hover off the ground or not. Inhale to your goddess. Exhale to your arrowhead. Press into that left foot now. Inhale, lift that left leg up or right leg up, reach. And then exhale, step that right leg forward into our chair pose. Inhale, reach the arms up high. 2 more rounds to go. Exhale, press into the feet, plug those sockets into the ground. Inhale, right leg creeps back, left arm reaches up and over for our reverse warrior. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, goddess, hips low here. Exhale, arrowhead. Inhale, lifting that right leg up. And exhale into chair pose. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Last round, I'm going to slow it down now. So this is where you're really going to feel it. I certainly feel lots of activity going on in the legs. So let's see, can we really slow the breath here? Exhale into chair for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale to reverse, step right leg back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale into low lunge for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale to goddess. So the whole transition, I want you to be arriving at the pose at the end of the count of 4 for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling back to the front of your mat to arrowhead, pivot the feet for 4, 3, 2, 1. Press into that left foot. We're going to lift the leg now to inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. And then to chair pose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale to reach the arms up again for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, hands down the midline for 4, 3, 2, 1. So moving in slow motion, it's like you're kind of moving at the speed of a tortoise there to get the legs and everything working. Okay, so that's our standing flow done, you'll be glad to hear. And we now are ready to come into our restorative practice. So let's just take it through a Malasana last time now to kind of really feel your connection with the ground here, particularly if you've been doing a lot of work with standing poses. Malasana is a lovely one to take because often in Malasana, everything lifts off the ground. But if you've been really working with your feet, you might find that your connection with the ground is much better, particularly seeing as we had some hip opening in that flow as well in our goddess pose. So see, can you really keep your feet? Now they might lift up, but just the intention to keep them down on the ground, those 3 points from the ground, elbows on the insides of your knees, pressing these away, and the knees pressing against your elbows as well. Up tall through the spine there now. Last few moments of lovely hip opening. Squeeze those glutes again. Really squeeze into the back of those glutes. Press into your feet, squeeze the glutes. And then using your hands to help you gently come all the way down to the ground. We're just going to come all the way down, lying on your back. Constructive rest. So we're used to this one now. The feet are mat distance apart. The knees are knocked in towards each other. So the knees are hitting each other in the midline. Palms facing up towards the ceiling. So let's just take a few breaths here to start quietening the mind and getting it ready, preparing it to come around to the idea of a little bit of relaxation for the next part of the class. So link in with your breath here, and if it helps you, place a hand on your belly to find your breath. So can you start to gently make your breath a little bit slower? So without forcing it anyway, just see, can you connect with your breath? Can you feel your heartbeat here? Now let's take it into a star stretch. So reach the legs away, reach the arms overhead. Stretch through the left toes and the right fingertips. Feel that lovely diagonal stretch through the body. Feel the point somewhere around maybe the belly button where the direction changes from reaching away to reaching up. And then let go of that. Let it kind of like come back or recede back towards the midline, almost like a starfish. Then reach your right leg away and your left fingertips away. Reach, reach, reach. Point the toes away from you, reach the fingertips away from you. See, can you find the point where both actions are happening, the reach and the stretch away? And then let that just curl back towards the midline. And just let everything drop out to the side. So let the toes drop out to the side. If arms reaching overhead is a little bit too much for your shoulders, bring your arms into a T shape here. And own your mat, own the space that you occupy here. Let your whole body accept the support of gravity here. Feel your relationship with the ground. Feel, the ground coming up to support you here as you just gently nestle into it. Feel held and supported and cared for. Okay, we're going to get ready for our first pose. So bend the knees up in your own time. So everything in restorative is in your own time. If there's a pose that you want to stay longer in, you come out of it and you look up to see what I'm doing, so that just you really are being led by your nervous system. So rolling over to your right hand side, pressing your left arm into the ground to lift you up, and just coming to a seated position. So have a look up towards me and I will show you how to prep for our first pose. So your 2 bricks on the lowest height. So one is going to be for your head and the other one is going to be for reaching overhead. So we want to have our bolster, and that's going to nestle around our waist here. We're going to drape the kind of smallest part of our waist over the bolster. Now it's nice to have a blanket over that the front or the first brick there, because that's what your head is going to be on. So just for a little bit of sponge. And then for the legs, we are going to have different options for the legs. So you can have that right leg reaching away from you there as you come down. If you want a little bit more of a stretch through the hip there, you can have the left foot on top of the right thigh there. That again is increasing the stretch in that upper thigh, and you'll feel it more as you come down. Or what can be nice if you just want a little bit of stability, or you don't want a huge amount of stretch in the hips, which is the one that I'm going to go for, is placing 2 blankets between your knees. Now you'll still get a stretch in the upper hip here as we come into our side bend, but it's a little bit more gentler. So just playing around, when you get into the pose, play around with the positions of your legs, taking the different versions, and decide what you want to feel in your upper hip there now. Okay, so your bolster is at the small of your waist there. You're going to lengthen up through the spine, and on your exhale, coming down and placing your head on your brick there. Right arm or left arm reaches forward. Sorry, I'm on my left side there. I never said. So I came to the bolster on my left side. And then reach the right arm up towards the ceiling, palm towards the back of the mat, and exhale, finding that brick over your head there now. So this part of the stretch is optional. It doesn't suit everybody's shoulders. So what you can do is hold the brick for a few minutes within the practice. And if it gets too much on your shoulder, you just bring that arm and place it on top of the left arm there. But you'll notice that that little bit of extra stretch does add a lot more of a gentle opening. And just remembering within our restorative practice, it's really a gentle opening that we're looking for. We're not really, this isn't yin yoga, this is restorative. So it's opening rather than an intense stretch that we're looking for, because we're trying to work with the nervous system rather than against it, I suppose, is the best way to describe that. Okay, now I'm going to bring my arm down just because my arm is rubbing against my mic there, but you can keep your right arm overhead. So scanning in through your body there and just making sure that everything feels comfortable. So if you have a very thick bolster, is it too much? Is this too much of a lift through the waist there? And if so, pop the bolster out to the side and just roll up a blanket. So just making sure that the position that you are going to bring yourself to, draping over your bolster or your blanket, is one that you can really allow your nervous system to relax. Because what we're doing here is we're tapping into the rest and restore part of our nervous system. And if we just accept parts of our practice as, oh, it's okay, I can, I can just about hold this, we're not really giving the nervous system a chance to do its best to find that restorative part. So taking some lovely deep breaths here. These side bends are a great way to find the breath on a side of the body. So obviously the breath is in both sides, but this with our side bend, it kind of magnifies the sensation of the breath in the right side of the body there. So really feel the space between those right ribs, the right lung expanding on your inhale and contracting on your exhale. Feel the buoyancy of your inhale, almost like you're a balloon that's about to lift off your support. And the grounding, settling security of your exhale as you drop down towards the support of your bolsters, your mat, your blankets, and your bricks. So again, check in with your legs, make sure that the position you chose is working for you. If that stretch is getting too intense in the upper hip there, change leg position or pop some blankets in between your knees. And not only do we feel this lovely sensation of opening through the upper rib cage there, we feel this lovely support as the kind of the belly and the muscles of the belly just drape gently over your bolster there. So get curious about that left side there and feel that, the waist being held and supported. So often this area of the body that lifts away from our bed or lifts away from whatever we're lying on now has got this lovely support underneath it. And the belly just gently drapes over the bolster there. Okay, so gently getting ready to move to your second side and just even thinking, planning it out in your head, and I'll guide you too, but what's the most comfortable or least disturbing way to get over to the other side? So maybe just pressing your right arm into the ground, really slowly lifting yourself up. If you have blankets in your legs, you can just bring the whole arrangement over. I am going to just swap to the other side. You stay where you are. I just want to make sure that I don't have my back to you. So just pivoting your whole hip over until you land on the right side. Settling down again. So remembering just to wedge your bolster in the smallest part of your waist there. Lengthen up through the spine. So you have to make sure that you're giving the waist there a little bit of space to drape over the bolster by lengthening the spine and then coming down. Placing your head on your pillow, reaching the right arm forward now. Checking in with your legs, seeing do they feel good? Is there anything that's holding itself? Do you need more blankets to wedge around something that needs support? Reaching the left arm up now, placing the palm towards the front of your mat, reaching the arm overhead and holding on to your brick, or just, you're not even holding it, you're literally just letting the fingertips curl around the brick. And remembering that part of the pose is optional, or sometimes it can be good to hold it for the first few minutes and then gently bring the arm down and placing it on top of the left arm or the right arm. So just, being guided by how your body feels. not what mine feels like and what I'm doing on screen. So let's link in with the breath now in the left side of the body. Feel the space between the ribs on the left. Feel the expansion of the left lung and the contraction on the exhale. Feel the gentle lifting away from the ground on the inhale and the gentle dropping down to the support of the ground and submitting to gravity on the exhale. And then travel to the right side of your waist there. Feel the support of the tissue of the belly there, the whole belly being supported by the bolster. Feel it curling in around your waist there, your side waist. Check in with your legs now. Make sure that that top hip is comfortable. Check in with your arm. If you have it reaching overhead, does it still feel good? Or would it feel good to take it out of the opening? And let's just settle into this now for the next few moments, a little bit of silence, so that you can really root around the pose and make sure that everything is happy. And when it is, then just drop into the pose, reap its benefits, and allow yourself to be in this restorative practice. And gently now bringing yourself back to the room, getting ready to move to our next pose, our final pose before we come down into Shavasana. Placing the left palm on the ground, press into it and lift yourself up nice slowly now, moving nice and slowly. Okay, so for our final pose, definitely one of my favorite poses, we're just going to come into a reclined seated pose. So I would suggest for this one, have your one brick at a medium height. It can be taken at a high height. So you've got a choice of like medium and high or medium and low. I'm going to take medium and low. It's a little bit more reclined, but it feels a little bit more secure as well. I don't want you to feel any sense of like, oh, is that high brick going to fall over now? So let's take the lower one. But by all means, take the high and the medium one if you like to be a little bit more upright in your restorative pose. Okay, so we are going to make a blanket roll for the legs as well. So just get 2 of your blankets, bring them into a 4-fold, so that kind of a size. I have 2 of them there. And I'm just going to roll the 2 of them up together so that I end up with a reasonable thickness of a blanket. So that's going to go under my knees. So I'll pop that to the end of my mat there. And then the bolster just goes over these 2 bricks here, so you can see them there. Okay. And then you're going to pop your hips just in front of your bolster there, not too tucked up beside it, because you want a little bit of space for your hips to be able to pivot back without taking too much of a curve in your back. So if you have a spare blanket, it can be nice to actually pop another one underneath the hips there so that you have a little bit of sponge and a bit of cushioning underneath your bum. Okay, so hips behind the bolster there. Then just placing your rolled blanket underneath your knees there, making sure that they're right underneath the knee joint there. Bring the hands either side of the bolster, lengthen through the spine, even come into little mini back bend, and then exhale to bring yourself all the way down onto your bolster. If you have another blanket, it can feel nice to drape it over your tummy or your legs or wherever you're feeling kind of needs that extra little bit of love today. So if you felt your legs worked really hard today, maybe place the blanket on top of your legs there, just anything. So what the little bit of weight of the blanket, it just kind of presses down into all those little receptors in the nervous system, and it sends signals up through the vagus nerve and tells the brain and the body that we are in this state of restore and relax. So we are incredibly sensorial beings. And we think we're just lying reclined in a bolster and, trying to quieten the mind. But everything that we do in restorative is working deeply with the nervous system. Each of the poses are designed to do different things to help the nervous system to rebalance and restore. It's a deeply healing practice. So just coming back to the breath here, it's nice to have a symmetrical pose after our side bends or our single-sided side bends. So feel the breath now equally in left and right lung there. Feel the belly expand, the lungs opening on your inhale. And then everything just gently dropping back to the ground on our exhale. So coming back to that theme of transitions, can you almost treat the breath as a transition? You can even do your count of 4 on an inhale and the count of 4 on an exhale as the lungs transition from inhaling to exhaling. And each day, each hour, each minute, we are constantly transitioning through our life. Sometimes those transitions are much harder to take, and they take a hell of a lot more stability to negotiate. And other times we don't even particularly notice that we're moving from day to day or season to season. And our practice can help us to find our way through transitions by creating transitions in our practice. So remembering our tools that help us to settle, being our breath. And also I like to just travel through the muscles of the face and just gently having a conversation with them and asking them to relax. So the skin across the forehead, those little muscles in the eye sockets, and the skin across the cheekbones softening, the jaw softening. So can you let the lower jaw or the lower bone of the jaw just gently relaxing, pressing the tongue across the soft palate at the top of your mouth. And can you feel this gentle softening, this gentle kind of almost fluid movement or fluid feeling between the bone and the skin, traveling all the way along the top and the back of your skull. Feel the weight of your head pressing into your bolster at the back of your skull there. And this is a pressure point that we use when we have headaches. Lots of little receptors at the back of the skull there. So stay here if you're really finding a lovely relaxation, or if you want to play around a little bit with those receptors, you can just gently, even just a couple of centimeters or an inch, just, nodding your head from left to right in a no kind of fashion, and just feeling the pressure at the back of the skull there. Little micro movements. Okay, so I'm going to give you the option now to stay here. If you're really loving this pose and you've found good relaxation in it, stay here for your Shavasana. Or if you want to, you can just gently press your hands either side of the body to lift yourself up just enough to push the bolster and the bricks off your mat, and then come all the way down to the ground. So leaving the legs exactly how they are, leaving that extra blanket across your belly or your legs, just coming all the way down to the ground. So whichever one you want to take. Palms up towards the ceiling. And continuing to find this lovely symmetry in the body. And getting ready now to come out of your practice. Bringing a little bit of movements into your fingers and your toes. And in your own time, be guided by yourself here. You're going to bend your knees, but take it when you want to. And roll over to your right hand side. Use your left arm to press yourself up. And find your seated position. Let's just place our hands on our knees now, lengthen up through the spine. Keep the eyes closed if you can. And taking some breaths here. And seeing, can we come out so gently from our restorative practice that we are bringing it with us, bringing a little bit of this calm with us. And also just see, can you notice throughout your day as you're moving? Can you, just for a few seconds, just slow your movement down and notice the echoes of what you've cultivated and you've built through this practice, and the strength and stability, pressing into those feet, finding strong muscles to stabilize your movement. Hands at prayer position at your heart. Thumbs to your third eye, to your lips, to your heart center, and namaste. And thank you for practicing with me. I'll see you again next week.